Hey guys, what's up? Today I'll be doing a video covering bounty tips and tricks because I saw online that not many people had done like these kinds of videos involving bounty. I had seen some from maybe a long while ago, a few months ago, but I hadn't seen any recently, so I thought I should do one myself. And also at the end of the video I'll be doing a mega box opening with a big box and 3 brawl boxes. The big box and 3 brawl boxes I saved up from doing the modes and stuff. But the mega box I got from the trophy road, I got to 4,000 trophies a couple of days ago, and from there I unlocked the mega box, which I'll be opening at the end. And also, a bit before the end, I'll be covering team compositions, like which brawlers are the best and stuff like that. But I've got lots of tips prepared, so yeah, let's just get through them. So the first tip is pick long range brawlers. And why we want to do this? Because bounty is a game mode where you want to try and output as much damage as possible to get your stars up higher and higher, but you don't want to die as well, because if you die after you've been killing lots of people, that's going to be a lot of stars to them. So you want to output as much damage as possible without dying, basically. So long range brawlers are best for this because they do a lot of damage and they can stay far away, so they can stay far away from the brawlers. For example, El Primo, if he were to jump in, he's going in there, he's attacking people. That's not really safe and stuff, because if he dies, that's a lot of stars lost. Yeah, you don't want to die in bounty because then you lose all the stars that you gain, basically. That's why long range brawlers are best. They can stay safe, hide behind walls, and also output a lot of damage. So yeah, definitely pick long range brawlers. And my second point would be passive and don't push in more than you need to. Because a lot of times what I see in low level games, like on my second account or my third account, which is around maybe 300 trophies, at the end of the match I see that maybe we have 60 stars and they have like 45 or 50, and that's because we've both been going aggressive, we've both been pushing in, pressuring each other. But you really don't want to do that. You want to stay passive, you want to build up a small lead. For example, what I saw is that we would kill them and then push in further, like into their spawn area. But you don't need to do that because we've been gathering stars by killing them. So what's the point of going into their spawn where they're going to be immune for like 5 seconds and then kill us, and then it's going to be like equal and stuff. And then what happens is they would push our spawn when they really didn't need to do that. Like once you get a small lead by just staying back, using walls and like shooting and stuff like that, then you really should just play more passive, because if you have a lead and basically they have to come to you if they want to have a chance of winning. So yeah, there's no need for you to like push up to them and stuff. That's my second point. And my third would be peek, basically, and use walls to your advantage. What I mean by peeking is that you quickly go into the open, shoot, then go back. You poke someone who's in the open and then you go back. For example, if they've got lower health brawlers, just like long range brawlers, they're low health. If you just go peek, shoot, hit them, and then you just come back, then you're getting damage out, but you're not also putting yourself in the line of fire. Because I see lots of people moving out, shooting, then they get shot, and then they get shot again and they die, when they could have just avoided that by just like shooting and then going back into like safety and stuff. That's my point. And my other one is use walls to your advantage. So peeking around them, hiding around them. If someone's like shooting, if you're in an awkward position, you can just like go around using walls and stuff like that. And the next one would be spread out. So like one person on each side of the map and maybe someone in the middle. Because for long range brawlers, their supers are very good for crowd control and lots of people in one area. So for example, Brock, if he fires his barrage of rockets and you two are just standing there like next to each other, he'll probably kill you both. And if he doesn't kill you both, one rocket hits you, the other person dies. Someone like a Colt or Piper might hit you from a distance and then you die because you're on low health. So and also Colt, his super will pierce through people and hit the person next to them. So if like you're all spread out, then Colt can't hit all of you, and he can only aim on one person. And if he shoots that at that one person and then he misses, then that's his super wasted. And it's very easy to waste Colt's super if you're like the enemy and stuff. You just have to move out and dodge a bit and stuff and predict it. there's a yellow dashed circle moving underneath them when they're aiming it, so if you just use that to your advantage and move out of the way, then you could waste Colt's ultimate. But if all three of you are together there, standing close, if he fires his super, he might not hit you, or he might not hit the other person, but if all three of you are there together, he'll definitely, or most likely, be hitting one of you. And then you'll be on low health, and their team will kill you. And yeah, the next one is play accordingly to their team composition. So what I mean is that if they're long range, then definitely peek. You don't want to be out there in the open when they could just shoot rockets at you, shoot bullets, like Piper could shoot hers and stuff. But if they're Bull, Frank, and El Primo, I actually went against a team who were Bull, Frank, and El Primo, then in that case you don't have to peek because there's not much risk and stuff. But what I saw is that an El Primo or a Shelly, they would hide in a bush nearby, and while we were just shooting in the middle, and then once someone got close to that bush, they would pop out and kill them because we were using long range brawlers, and that's good for El Primo. I like close range, obviously. So for that reason, you should always be aware of your enemy team composition. And then if there's if there's an El Primo in that bush, then just don't confront it, just stay away from it. Or if you are going to, make sure it's at least two of you, or from a distance, something like that. And yeah, so if you got if they've got short range brawlers, use that to your advantage. They've got long range, then peek and stuff like that. So the next one is very important. It's strafing. So if you don't know what strafing is, basically moving out of the way, not moving out of the way, but moving as you're shooting, and just dodging shots in general. Because Brock, he fires one big rocket that does 1,500 damage, something like that, and that's all he's got. If he's missing his rockets, he's useless. He can't do anything. So if you know how to strafe well, and if you know how to dodge well, then you could definitely be, basically rendering him useless. Obviously, not completely, because, he'll still be getting, shots in. But, you could definitely negate, half of his damage if you're just dodging, predicting where he's going to shoot, stuff like that. And, strafing, if you're Colt, as you're shooting, just don't stand in the same place, because then you'll get shot. Move as you're shooting, because that means that you have your bullets will, cover a larger distance as you're moving. And you have a less chance of being shot because you're not standing still. And also the final one that I have is play according to how many stars you have. So if you have 2 stars and there's an enemy who has 6 stars and who's on low health, then go for it, push in if you're pretty sure that you're going to take them out, basically. If you know that there's not much for them to do, then you might as well go for it. You're only risking 2 stars and they have 6, so it'd be a massive plus for you if you were able to kill them, and if you died, it wouldn't be the worst thing. But if you have 6 stars and they have 2 stars and they're on low health, I wouldn't recommend going in for it, because if you kill them, nice, you got 2 more stars, but if you die, that's a major setback, and that's a lot of stuff lost. So yeah, definitely play according to how many stars you have. If you have more stars, stay back, stay more passive, and if you have less stars, then feel free to be a bit more aggressive, but not too much, only to an extent. And now I'll be getting into the team compositions. So I'll go over the brawlers who I think are the best, and maybe the ones who aren't as good and stuff. So the brawlers who I think are the best are Piper, Brock, Colt, and Penny. I think that because Piper, her damage, her bullets deal so much damage, up to 2,000 at max range. It's just so useful for this long range kind of thing, because Bounty's all about long range brawlers, so Piper's amazing here. Brock, similar to Piper, pumps out lots of damage. His super can keep brawlers back and stuff like that. And Colt, same thing. His bullets do so much damage from long range. His super can just destroy someone if all of the bullets hit. And same with his normal bullets. It definitely pressures people and pushes them back. And Penny, she got her cannon, her mortar. It basically means that people have to keep moving. So what it means is that people can't really hide behind walls a lot of the time. If they do, the mortar's going to hit them, and they're going to have to, and then they're going to take damage. Her mortar does so much damage. I think 1,200 at low level and stuff. So it basically means that your enemies keep have to move a lot. So I think Penny's definitely one of the best, if not the best here, because it just forces them to move. And the next ones, which are kind of dependent on the map a bit, but this, if the map's right for them, they're very good. It's Dynamite and Barley. So I put these still in the top tier, just because, you know, if the map's right, they can be absolutely amazing. Like the matches that I'm showing you, I played Dynamite in like most of them, or in like a few of them at least, and I like put out a lot of work and stuff. Because if there was only one kind of choke point area where, you know, people were shooting, you know, there were bushes on each side and walls, and there was one place where people were shooting. So you can just spam your dynamites into there, then, you know, you can do a lot of damage. And I thought that, you know, Barley works in the same way and stuff, so Barley would also be really good for this kind of mode, this kind of map. And the people who I think are still, you know, pretty good but not as good would be Jessie, Rico and Bo. So Jessie, you know, her attack is long range, but her attack is like very slow, and you know, people can just move out the way of that. But, you know, nevertheless, it still does damage. If it connects, then it'll bounce from like one person to the other, and since like there will be long range probably, and there will be, you know, staying kind of the same position in the back rather than, like, you know, in completely different areas, there's a chance that it will bounce off one person and hit the other, and you'll get a lot of value and stuff. And also her turret can put out a lot of damage, like, you know, a percentage of their health, because they have low health. So, you know, a turret could do to an El Primo won't do that much, you know, it might get off like 5% of his health, but to a brawler like Piper or Brock might get off like 20% and stuff, and they'll have to like shoot to that turret, which is doing a lot of problems for them. And then that's going to allow you and your teammates maybe, you know, push in, because they're having to waste their time on the turret and stuff like that. And yeah, the next one's Rico. Rico's like, I guess, a bit similar to Colt. His bullets do less damage, and Colt fires 6, Rico fires 5, and I think his is a tiny bit less range, but, you know, they're very similar and stuff. You know, Rico's super is very similar to Colt's super, and stuff like that, so he's okay. And Bo's also pretty good. I didn't put him at the top because his damage isn't great, but, you know, his health is pretty good, so you can, you know, sustain more shots than the others in terms of like from long range brawlers. And he himself is like long range, but his arrows don't do much damage and stuff, and his mines are easily like dodgeable and stuff. And the final ones, the final 3, these are on the tier because I think they're okay sometimes, not most of the time, but it's Shelly, Nita and Daryl. So I played against quite a bit of Shelly, and actually played with Shelly. Like, one of my teammates played with Shelly, not me, and she was okay. Like, she's fairly she's fairly like medium distance, and if she hides in a bush, you know, she can be pretty good and stuff like that. So I think she's okay. Nita, I played against Nita a bit. Like, I played lots of matches. I only showed like a few of them, but I played against Nita, and she was okay. Like, her bear was something that, you know, caused quite a few problems, because you kind of need the Colt when the bear's there, because Piper can't do anything to the bear. Like, she does maybe 800 damage close range, and her bullet takes so long to like generate and stuff. And, you know, Brock, same thing with him. But, you know, so you really need the Colt. So the bear causes some problems. That's why I think Nita's okay. And I also put Daryl as my final one, because you know, Daryl can roll in, kill someone quickly, then I guess roll out. You know, if they're on low health, if he's hiding in a bush, he's being an assassin, he's being all sneaky, I feel like he can be quite powerful. So yeah, that's why I put Daryl there. So yeah, and the rest of the brawlers I didn't put in because I just didn't think they were that good. I think maybe some of the mythics and legendaries could be very good. Obviously, like, I would definitely have put Leon and Crow and Spike and stuff in this list, and I guess, like, you know, Mortis and Tara, but, you know, I just don't have them. And for the legendaries, I assume most of you don't have them. For like Tara and Mortis, maybe some of you guys have them, but, you know, all of you or most of you will probably have, like, you know, Brock, Colt, like Penny, stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, this is a bit and I hope you enjoy the mega box opening they're about to get onto. Hey guys, what's up? Manon here, and today we'll be opening all of the boxes you can see here. I hope you enjoyed the bounty video. It's a bit different. I don't usually speak over like my gameplay, but, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something out of it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into these boxes. So yeah, we have 3 Brawl boxes and a big box. So I hope we get something good. Also Piper, PowerPoint, that's really nice. And and I'm really excited for the big box, the mega box. I haven't opened one in, like, you know, maybe a week or something. yeah, we haven't got anything good from the Brawl box, but that's fine, like that's expected. We'll probably not get anything out of the big box. We've got an premium upgrade, that's always quite nice. And we've got some gems, gems are always good. But finally, let's get on to the mega box, the big thing. Okay, let's open it. This is my first time ever getting one from the Trophy Road. Gives you 27 gold, that's quite a lot. I'm happy with that. 9 pipers, that's fine, it's not that many. 10 penny, that's fine as well. But we will get some dynamite, that's what I'm hoping for. Meter, Colt, that's nice. I'll push him a lot with Colt. Perfect, we've got some dynamites. Yes, okay, so now we have level 7 dynamite, which we've got a really want, because I really like dynamite. And then we're going to start pushing him a lot more. So yeah, nice, we've got some dynamites. We didn't get any new brawlers, but let's check our chances for the future. So yeah, it's the mythic's still like 0.25 and the legendary is 0.115. So it's going up slowly and stuff. The highest it can get to is like 0.3 or something. So yeah, we're slowly getting a high chance of legendary, it's going well. And yeah, just to end off the video, let's upgrade. Actually, I'll just see how much the upgrade, how much it helps to the premium. So it's a pretty good upgrade for El Premium. But you know, we're definitely going to be upgrading that dynamite. 38 damage, 38 extra damage per dynamite, that's really good. It's like 76 damage with Blizzard Connect, and like 140 for his health, 100 for his super. Yeah, this is going to have a lot. Let's confirm that upgrade. Okay, well, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed.